Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to another episode of Cannonball Diva Chronicles, where we'll be discussing more about narcissistic traits to look out for in your loved one, your relative, your friend, your boss, or anyone that you're involved with in your life in any different context. The narcissistic traits have become very important to me to discuss because for many years I was under the influence of someone that was a narcissist, and I was not aware that it was a personality disorder, but I did know that there was something off somewhere. I did know that it wasn't normal. As much as I tried my best to preserve the relationship, I tried my best to make it work out as much as I could. The more I tried, it seemed like the worse it got. No matter what they wanted me to do, I would try my best to do it, and then I would even bend over backwards to make sure it was perfect as far as I could make it as perfect as I could as a human. But the more I tried, the more they took me for granted and thought that I was a pushover or that they could climb all over me and with no repercussions whatsoever would entail. It has become very important to me as a woman of an African background. My background is Nigerian and I'm from the Delta area, Delta Igbo area. And I've come to realize from different stories I've heard from my culture, as well as other cultures, that many people, I would say a majority of them are women, suffer from the abuse from narcissists who have hidden under the guise of maybe being a loved one or being under the guise of being a friend to them, but control them, love to yield or wield their control over these people that they say that they love or that they pretend to love or care about. The narcissist's main goal is conquering whoever is in their life through their ultimate control. Initially, they start out with pretending that they're the ultimate one, the best person that could be there to show love, care, understanding. They have a way about them that charms you. They can be very charming initially when they meet you. And as they get you to start to trust them little by little, they do not all of a sudden show their true colors to you because their goal is not to scare you away. But there are many different signs and there are many different symptoms or signs that you would see. And that's what I would like to discuss today. If you're dealing with a narcissist, look out for some of these signs. One of them is the feeling of a grandiose personality, that they are better than everybody else around them. The narcissist has this, even the way they walk or the way they talk when they're with others is just shows that they want to lord it over everyone. They want to be the one to speak the most. They want to be the one to have the most opinions. They want to be the one to impress upon you with by telling you different stories or things that have happened to them, or they've noticed how things have happened to other people. They want to be the ones to impress upon you those stories so that you will look at them as a good source and admire them for that. Albeit a lie or albeit a falsehood, they don't care. All they care about is that you're looking at them at that moment and thinking that they're important. They're important because of the information they're giving to you at that moment. Another trait that I find is that many narcissists exhibit is the feeling of the need to be admired, and that also goes hand in hand with this feeling of grandiose personality. The reason they tell you these stories, make up stories and lie a lot, is because they want your admiration. They want whoever it is that is their audience to admire them, to think that they're the best thing since sliced bread, to want to be their friend, to want to come close to them. Everything you see them exhibiting as they're telling you anything is a facade. It is not their true personality. Their true personality is one of a scared child because they never grew. Listen to a lot of psychologists. I'm not a psychologist myself, but I'm a nurse practitioner, and I've met quite a few different personalities throughout my 20 plus years of being in a healthcare environment. But I'm not an expert. But I've heard a lot of experts say that the narcissist did not grow past their childhood. Something was stuck at some point in their life where they didn't grow past that being a child in emotionally and psychologically. They didn't grow past that point like normal people did. And there's this feeling of entitlement that a child would have. If you took a toy from a child, for example, and he feels like he deserved that toy, at that moment, that child does not feel he has to work for the toy or do anything to deserve the toy. He just wants the toy. And if he cannot get the toy, he at that moment, the first thing that comes to the mind of that child is to throw a tantrum, to scream, to shout, to make a big show of the fact that they really want, that toy. And they do everything in their power by trying to disrupt your peace. If you've noticed some of these children in the grocery stores, how they fall down when their parents refuse to buy something for them in the grocery store and just drop to the ground and start screaming. That's manipulation. The child, as young as they are at that moment, know that the parent doesn't want to be embarrassed by their screams, and they want to scream as loud as they can just to get what they want at that time. And that's what the narcissist does. The narcissist wants what they want. They don't care who it hurts. They don't care how it affects you as a person. They don't care the lengths you have to go to get that thing that they want. All they care about is the fact that they want something. And because they are not stupid, and because they are very manipulative people, they won't come out and say that to you, that I'm doing all of this stuff and I'm saying this to you, I'm doing this to you because I want the end result to be that toy that I want, or that maybe the money you promised me, or something you promised to do, or because I want to take advantage of you and use your youth, leave you as a single parent, but live my life as a single man. I want to leave you and just travel the world. In my case, that was it. Travel the world, live like a single man, but just make sure you have as many children so you're stuck with them, and then I can live my life freely. They're not going to come out and tell you that's what they want. Because obviously, if they told you that, you are not stupid yourself. You're not gonna agree. Nobody in their right mind would say, okay, you know what, saddle me up with children and go and have fun. Go live like a single man and send me little scraps here and there, like, you're paying a mortgage, but obviously I'm here taking care of the load of taking care of many children while you're free to do as you please. And then you come back feeling entitled to more care, love, affection. If you go out late, come home late, you don't want to hear anything about it. You don't want anyone complaining to you because you're free. You feel like you're free to do as you please. But the moment the woman does the same thing, turns around and goes out with her friends, wants to have fun with her friends, which is normal for any human being. You want to interact with your friends once in a blue moon and leave the kids with him. No, that's not possible. You can't do that. Your job is to stay home, take care of the children, take care of the home, stay indoors while I go out and have fun. So that is the selfish and the wicked personality of a narcissist. They want what they want. They do not care how it affects you. They do not care how they have to climb on your back to get to any height. As long as it brings them joy, as long as they're happy at the end of the day, the result is they just want to have that release and that joy from what they're doing, regardless of who it affects, who it hurts. And that is why the narcissist is a very, very dangerous person. A narcissist will go to great lengths to get what they want sometimes. You would be surprised the length the narcissist would go. Aside from manipulation, they would go far just to get what they want from you. And anyone that stands in their way becomes their enemy. Talking about the feeling of entitlement of the narcissist also involves, aside from using people to gain what they want out of life, they never give anything back. That's where it even hurts more, because they're taking all of these things from you. They're taking your time, they're taking your youth, they're taking your energy, they're taking your efforts, they're taking your financial contribution, and they give absolutely nothing back to you. If you're thinking that because you're doing all of these things for them and with them, that they have a big plan for you, think again. The narcissist does not care. All they care at that moment is using you to their benefit. From the time I was 22 years old and I got involved in this relationship that was supposed to be a lifelong relationship, I was promised everything possible so that I would stay put, stay home, have all my children. After the 2 that I had, I realized that this person wasn't a giving person, wasn't a loving person, wasn't a caring person, wasn't a compassionate person. They would go out, come home late, leave me by myself in fact, I would be in bed till 3 a.m. by myself, and when they would come, they would take a shower and face the wall. This is how I lived my life in my 20s, for most of the parts of my 20s. And then I decided to stop after 2 children, because I said, I don't want to bring 2 more children into the world that would just have this kind of father that doesn't care. That's the truth. I didn't want that. But what happened when I decided that that was the case? Threats. Oh, you're using birth control, right? Okay, well, who's going to take over all these businesses that I'm building in Africa? Who's going to take them? My family is asking me, which was a bold-faced lie, because his family would never tell him what to do. He's telling me that these children, they need to, who's going to take over? You have to have more children. You have to have more children. Why do you have to? Why she stopped? Nobody had the right, in fact, had the guts to talk to this person like this, to tell him what to do. But he said that at that point to threaten me. Or if you don't have more, I'm going to go out and have more children. You don't know that Africa, there are women begging? Don't you know? And as naive as I was, obviously every woman wants to keep her marriage. She doesn't want her man to go out and have babies outside. So obviously, I bent over backwards and said, okay, have more. And I also wanted a daughter, to be honest, because I ended up not having a daughter, but I wanted a daughter because I only had 2 boys. But I ended up having 2 boys, 4 children. And you can imagine how hard it was for me when this person that promised to stay with me to help me with these children that he wanted so badly would travel and leave me for 3 months at a time, 4 months at a time. What are you doing there? After you finish building the house that you promised to build, or the properties that you're trying to rent out, he would say, this is the last one. This is the last one. And I was here like a single mother, taking care of all the home, taking care of the home front. I wasn't paying him the mortgage or the rent. He was sending money, but I was taking care of the bills and buying the food and being there physically. Being there physically for your children is like, when they say it's priceless, you can't even attach a price to it. But that is what my role became. I became like a single mother because he promised me heaven. Everything, all these things I'm building is for you and the children. Everything that I'm doing today is because I love you guys. Don't worry, when you are older, by the time you're in your 50s and 60s, you won't have to lift a finger. You won't have to work. All these things, that's when you will not know that, you will not love me. You will not know that, oh, this is my husband has done well. You will know. All these promises, that's what made me stay put. Anytime I wanted to complain, I just thought about that and I would stop. I would say, you know what? It's for the best in the long run. It's for the future of my children. Because this person kept investing money in Nigeria. At some point, I even helped out with the little I had, which was just 10,000 US at that point, because I wasn't working full time. I had little kids, but I gave everything in my account to this person to invest in the hotel that he built. Suffice to say that after everything I sacrificed, this person turned around one day when I asked for the papers to show for these properties. Guess what I heard? Why are you so interested in my properties? Why don't you go and work like a fellow nurses and make money and invest your money? Why don't you go and work for your own money and invest your own money in your own property? I looked at this person, I said, didn't you say it was for me and my children, all the traveling? Is that what the plan was? That you're going to turn around and say all the time, all the effort, all the sweat, everything I did just to allow you go and do what you had to do because you told me it was because of us you were doing it. Now you're saying they all belong to you and I have to go and work from scratch. All the years that I couldn't work because the kids were babies, I sacrificed my time because I thought I had something being built for us. That's what I thought. Now you're coming to tell me that I have to go and start from scratch now and start investing my money. And he meant every word he was saying. I talked to my dad, I talked to my family. They said, didn't you know that all these years he's been going to Africa? They saw the writing on the wall. My family just thought that the fact that I was being quiet about it, maybe I had an agreement with him and they didn't want to interfere in my situation. Like most brothers and sisters don't want to tell you what to do, but they would make some they would say some things here and there like, oh, are you sure? You know, what is he up to? Why is he always traveling at my expense? The love and affection, I wasn't getting it. The time, the resource, resources that most marriages put into a young wife, where you know you're young and you need that person in your life. Only one man. I'm not someone that has boyfriends everywhere. So I just looked at all of that as a sacrifice. I'm putting all the sacrifices in for a reason, for the long term. I thought I was going to benefit. And then when I heard this, I now decided to work harder with my education, because I saw the writing on the wall. It was so glaringly clear. I was already an RPN then, which is called LVN in America. I pulled up my bootstraps, and I started to apply to become a registered nurse. I worked hard. It took many years, but I eventually became a nurse with no help from him. He continued to do what he was doing, which was paying the mortgage. But I was still paying for the nanny to take care of the children. I had to hire a live-in nanny, because paying for daycare out there then I had 3 or 4. I think I had 3. I didn't have the 4th one. I had 3 children. It was too expensive. And he left that up to me. He said, you are the one that wants to go to school, so you decide what you want to do. This was someone that told me, when you marry me, I'll pay for your school. Don't worry, you can go to school. Don't worry, when you have just get married to me. All of that was just a lie. That is the narcissistic trait you need to know. They lie through their teeth just to get what they want. They will lie to you. I believed him because I didn't believe that someone could actually lie about certain things, because I would never do that to my fellow human being. Lie about things just to get them to do what you want, and that's really not what God has called us to do to his fellow children. Like, why would you lie and make somebody sacrifice so much of their life only to turn around and it's all yours and nothing belongs to them? That you use them to get to like he used me to get all the properties. That's what he was trying to tell me. My name, he never showed me any document to show me my name on any of them. There are 3 major ones in Nigeria. He never showed me one document. Anytime I asked for a document, he would ask me why. Anytime I even asked him to make a will, okay, just make a will so that the children, he said, are you planning something to happen to me? Is that your plan? So I just decided not to talk about it again. And as my dad talked to me one day after I complained bitterly, I wasn't happy in the marriage, I wanted out. He said, just work hard. Like the writings on the wall, work hard and just make sure you are stable, because I don't like what I'm seeing. After I became an RN, I would work nights so I could come home and take care of the kids, take them to daycare. All of that was still my responsibility. He just had the children just for having sake, just so he could make me off. Yeah, so sorry about the pause. Yeah, so like I was saying, my dad told me, get up and go to work. Work hard, because he didn't like what he was saying. Well, I decided to take him up on the advice, but I had a very heavy heart, because I thought about all the time I'd put into this marriage and this relationship. And at the end of the day, he's telling me to go and work for mine after about 15, 16 years. So anyways, I'll work night shifts, come home, I'll be the one to take them to daycare, and I'd wake up and pick them up, cook, make sure the food was ready and everything, and then go to work again. He was home and they would be asleep, and obviously he was home with them. I wasn't getting in many shifts. I was doing maybe the few I could, which was because obviously taking care of the children by myself all day, I didn't have too much energy to do a lot at night, but I did my part. And then at some point, he had told me to come to Nigeria with him. Me and the children went because I didn't want to feel like a single mother. He told me this time around, I'm going to be there for a year. I don't like this back and forth. But the irony of it is that you met me here in Canada. Why didn't you just marry someone from Nigeria? Go to Africa and marry your wife. Leave me. I'm here already. Once he married me, he was always in Africa, as if he didn't see that there were other women there before you came and saw me here. Anyway, needless to say that my trip to Nigeria was a nightmare. Then he was fully able to do all the wickedness he wanted to do. I will discuss that another time. Including and not limited to him chasing me out at night with the children one time. You know, innocent children that did nothing. We're just watching TV, shouted at them, get out, go out. Just because I saw what he bought for his girlfriend in his luggage after I came back from a trip. Anyways, you need to be very, very aware of the narcissistic trait of wickedness. They are very wicked and very entitled. And they are also, the first one I mentioned, these feelings of this grandiose personality. They are better, they feel they are better than everybody else. Another thing is that they feel they need to be admired. They need admiration. They need you to admire them. They need you to show them that, you think they're wonderful people. That fuels them. That is what fuels them to the core. When you as a person in a relationship with a narcissist, it stays in that relationship and continues to receive the backlash, the anger, the lies, the abuse, physical, emotional, spiritual, financial, all kinds of abuse from them. And when you cry, they don't care. When you cry, you complain, and you think you're getting through to somebody, and you don't want to talk about it and tell them what they've done to you, and they don't care. They just listen to you, and they're happy in their mind. They are really happy that, that's what they want. Because now you're sad and you're miserable, just like they are. If you show them you don't care, that when they're attacking you, for example, verbally, and you just turn around and walk away, or you show them you don't care, they don't want that. They want you to vent and cry and complain. They want you to vent and cry and complain. That's what they're getting some satisfaction out of that. Another trait of the narcissist is the fact that aside from the fact that they're greedy people, very greedy, they want everything to themselves. I'm sure that the story I've told already highlights that fact. They want everything, and they don't want you to have nothing. And they don't care. There's nothing like having a conscience. There's no empathy. There's no feeling of empathy to say, oh, why would I do that to such a person that has stayed with me this long and worked so hard? Dedicated their time, their youth, their efforts towards helping me. There's no such thing. They don't feel bad. They care only about themselves and what they're getting from the equation. A normal person would not even think of doing that. They just feel like that's wrong. You don't use people to get to the top, like a ladder. Beware of users who, when they need you, they will say anything and do anything to get what they want. They will make up stories to get you to change your mind. They will lie to get you to decide to help or to do something that they want badly. When you begin to receive pressure from someone that wants something from you, and they don't even give you time to decide. They want to talk fast. They want you to make the decision right away. They want you to decide today, now, say yes. You're going to help them. Beware of such people. They don't want you to think about it. Because they know if you think about it, if they left you to think about it, the chances of you saying no is high. Because you probably realize that, they're users. They're users. They just use you and dump you and move on to the next person. When you need them, they are nowhere to be found. They make themselves scarce. They disappear into thin air. When they need you, they feel entitled to you helping them. And they make you feel like they're going to pay you back well. They will give you back. They will be there for you. But they are never there for you. Never. They're never there for you. They don't have a soul. Narcissistic people lack a soul. And I told my ex-narc that one time. It just came to my spirit after much contemplation. He said, you have no soul. He was surprised. He looked at me like, how did I find out? Some of these people they've sold their soul to the devil. You don't have to have a transactional discussion with the devil to sell your soul. When you start acting like the devil and behaving like the devil, when you can't show love to people who have been there for you, when you can't treat people who have been there by your side well, and all you know how to give is wickedness, that is a devilish behavior. They've sold their soul. When they can't even show love to their own children, who are they going to show love to them? When they can turn around and cheat people, even their own friends, they talk bad about them behind their backs. As soon as their backs are turned, you hear them make a negative snide remark. This is someone you were just smiling with. As soon as the person turns their back, you're saying things about them. And then the next time you see them, you pretend again. They're not genuine. You cannot be with, they can never be genuine to anyone. A narcissist lacks empathy. They lack joy. They have no peace. Because the Bible says, no peace for the wicked. That's what the Bible says. You can't be wicked to people and expect joy and peace. I'm going to stop here. I don't really like my videos being too long. I'll come back. I'm going to try and start making my videos shorter. I hope that my message has blessed you. And for those who are in relationships like these, take it to God in prayer. There's nothing God can do. This is Cannonball Diva chiming out and saying, may God bless you all. And thank you for tuning in today to Cannonball Diva Chronicles. Bye.